Today we discuss the impact of lucid dreaming on our perspectives of reality, but also the remarkable capabilities of AI technology and its impact on our future.
Welcome, Luciano. It's been too long.
How long has it been?
It's literally 3 months, 2 months, 2 months.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Here we are. So, the other day I was reading a book about dreams and lucid dreaming because when I sleep, I normally clench my teeth, right?
Yeah.
A lot of tension. And I asked a whole bunch of doctors on where that comes from, and nobody really knows. Many say stress, many say you need to change your lifestyle, and I thought, but are you sure? No, not really. Nobody knows. So I started reading this book about lucid dreaming, and one of the points is you have to start journaling your dreaming, right? Lucid dreaming is basically when you realize during your dream that you're dreaming, or whoever doesn't know. And I haven't been able to lucid dream yet, but this made me think a little, because when you're dreaming and you suddenly become lucid, the only thing you're realizing is that's all in your head, right? That it's all a creation of your own mind, the dream itself, no? Mm-hmm. And it then, supposedly, you can change whatever you want, you can make the dream react in whatever way you want.
I had it once in my life, and it was one of the best experiences in my life.
What did you do?
First, flying. Like, it sounds...
I want to fly so bad.
It sounds like... But that was just the first thing, because I didn't... Finish your story first.
No.
So first thing... like, it's super like obvious. You hear all the time people would fly, and the first impulse I had was like, yeah, let's fly, of course. Yeah, of course. Like, I didn't think I would do it. I thought I would go straight to fantasizing about some woman. That's like some hottie, and that's like 50-50. But my instinct was, yeah, let's fly, and I did. And the thing that I thought was so strange and amazing is that it felt more real than reality to a certain extent. Like what they say about DMT, like I've never smoked DMT or did ayahuasca. What I've heard people say is that, they go into this DMT trip and they experience like a new form of reality or a different reality that seems more real than reality itself. So you come back and you're like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? Because I thought I was in reality, but actually I've been like rocketed into a different, a higher level of reality, which is more real than this. So,
which is funny, because in ayahuasca, now that you're saying it, it feels like a dream, but a conscious dream. Yeah. So it feels still
it's like a lucid dream, basically.
I don't know. I've never had a lucid dream, so I don't know.
So for me, the lucid dream experience was, I never did DMT, so I cannot say, but it felt like so vivid and bright. And like basically everything was possible, and it felt more pure in a certain sense. So yeah, of course, I went flying, and it was one of the best feelings in the world. And it's just I literally had it once in my life, and it's up there in the top experiences of my life, which is strange. It was a dream,
I'll give you the book, because this book teaches you how to become lucid. If it works, I'll give it to you. If it doesn't, I'll just throw it away. But it made me think, this lucid dreaming thing, because once you realize it's all a dream, then you lose all fear or all concern about the reality of the dream, right? Let's say you're fighting with your boss in your dream, and suddenly you realize it's a dream. You don't give a shit about the fight with your boss. No? So in a way, I started thinking maybe the dream world is a reflection of reality, because reality, our spiritual teachers teach us that we're all one, that we're all the same, we're just experiencing life from different points of perspective. And maybe the waking up part everybody's talking about, the lightning part everybody's talking about, is just realizing that you're actually dreaming. Let's put it in quotes. That you're actually not, that this is not a real life. That this is not a real experience.
Yeah.
And this made me think then, well, let's assume for a second that we're all just dreaming, that we can't wake up from it, because at least I've never been able to wake up from it. And how would I live my life if it was just a dream? Which brings you back to the dream world. How would you live your dream once you become lucid, right? But which basically took me down a road, why would I ever need to worry about anything if life is just a dream? No. But at the same, then I kept on thinking about this, and I realized, well, even if it's not a dream, why would you ever need to worry about anything? Because let's say this is the ultimate reality. There's no reality beyond this. It's not like you're asleep or anything. You're just living reality. You're still on a planet, in a universe. You're just a tiny speck, and nothing that you do really matters. So even then, you shouldn't be worried about anything, no? Yeah. What do you think?
In general, I think that worrying never really is good for anything, for sure. And if the perspective, I think having the perspective of seeing things as a more dreamlike reality, it might detach you a bit more from the struggles and problems you have in your life as a perspective, right? Because if you say it doesn't matter, I think we've had the same conversation on a different topic before. Mm-hmm. I think if life had meaning or not, if it matters or not, like if life would be a dream or not, if it effectively would matter, if you would then not need to worry, more or less, like I don't think it actually matters, like you said, if life is a dream or not, regarding to if you should worry or not. But if you keep the perspective of saying to yourself, like, it's just a dream, like it's not real, or I think you can alleviate the attachment you have to specific sufferings or even like all kinds of things. It might bring you more into like a state of equilibrium where you don't like take everything so seriously. So I think the perspective can definitely help of letting go of the seriousness of life. I think after your ayahuasca experience the first time, like maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's also how I saw you. You were way more flowing and you didn't take things so seriously, as in you basically, that also had its consequences, but basically like I have to work hard and you're growing the business and you're doing this and you're going from A to B to C to D. And in the meantime, you forget to live your life, which is, like, I don't know, the world is like a classical mistake, I guess people tend to make. But it's kind of the same realization in the sense that you basically realize that taking life seriously rarely ever serves you.
Too seriously.
Yes.
Because then there's the other train of thought which goes like, I'm just gonna meditate all day and dream and live in the clouds and won't take mundane things as work seriously, and those guys normally aren't very happy. They're just deluded.
Yes, so that's also, I think, a logical mistake, because you still want to have a nice dream, right?
Yeah. And
so if life's a dream, you can say, yeah, you meditate all day, you don't care about work, but it's still...
It's life.
It's still life.
You're escaping that dream.
So if you choose to escape into yourself, you still have bills to pay. That's that's not going to change. I guess, like, I don't know how the whole secret thing works, but like if you can, I don't know, like attract things into your life by visualizing them or asking them from the universe. But yeah, it seems to me if you take it too far the other side, that's definitely not a good thing to do.
Yeah, but even to me, it wasn't so much about the worrying thing. To me, I just found the reflection of dreaming versus life very nice, because once I started dream journaling, I realized that many of my dreams I was worrying about something.
And which it
depends on the dream, either about job or about a relationship with somebody, about a fight with somebody, but it was always a situation where I was like, oh shit, I need to solve this.
Exactly.
I'm guessing that's why I clench my teeth, right?
Probably.
But the way I see it is, since I'm worried internally about something, this is what comes up in my dreams, which is very likely of what the the law of attraction teaches you. No, whatever you're feeling is what you're attracting from the universe, supposedly.
Or projecting, however you say it.
Or projecting.
You create it in a sense.
In a sense, you create it. It doesn't matter how you look at it. If you're always with a worried face walking around life, well, you're gonna attract people that match that, no? And so there's another thing that's very similar between dream world and real world. So to me, right now, the theory I'm having is maybe the dream world is like a playground or a learning place where you can figure out some things about your life and then apply them to your life, no?
Yeah. You can definitely use it like this. I think that, I don't know, classical Jungian psychology or Freudian psychology, Freud, I think, is like both of them did some dream analysis as part of their therapies, as if I recall correctly. And I think a lot of the things that come up in dreams are probably things that you repress in your normal lives. If you have like aggressive dreams or like specific
sexual dreams
or sexual dreams, like, no, honestly, like those things, that's a very good example. Like I've had that I've been in a relationship where I felt like I really wanted to open up the relationship and it couldn't work. And I had every night I had like different dreams of having sex with different women because I repressed it basically. And if you repress your anger and if you repress your worries, like your financial worries, they're going to end up in your dream, which then in itself, if you do the dream analysis in the morning, like at the least, I think it can help you understand yourself better. Like, what am I actually, because you're not suppressing things on a conscious level, right?
No.
Yeah, it's just it's a mechanism, like a self-defense mechanism. Like you need to perform and function, so you repress things automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So then, if you want to not repress things, which is probably better, then first you need to know that you're repressing them. So if you analyze your dreams, I guess it's a very good method to see, hey, what's really going on with you or with yourself, and then to actively work on it in your conscious state.
I agree. Yeah. I hadn't seen it all as repression. I didn't even know how I saw it. But yeah, repression makes a lot of sense. Also, the last thing is, if you do become lucid in a dream, I don't know why, but I think it could help you very much to live a more awakened life, because of the whole thing that you realize the only thing in your dream is you. Mm-hmm. No? Which is what the spiritual teachers say we are waking life. So maybe, who knows, maybe if you get used to being lucid in your dreams, eventually you will become more lucid in your real life. This is just...
No, it can, could be. I think at least like what you started with in the conversation, it can make you feel more, it can make you take things less seriously, because my experience as well was then suddenly you feel very, like you can create anything, you feel very free, like unshackled is the word I would use. Like you feel so free in this lucid dream, you can fly, you can do whatever you want, and it's like that feeling is like ecstatic in a certain sense, you know? Mm-hmm. So if you have that experience, I think having those experiences in itself could alleviate your day-to-day struggles with things by just having that reference point of feeling that free in your life. Even though it's in a dream, you wake up and you have that feeling like, oh, it's like getting a great massage and a happy end. And then that every day, but I think it can help you as a relaxing mechanism for sure, and possibly can empower you as well. Yeah, I think I believe it can be a very good tool. Yeah,
maybe. Who knows? I'll let you know once I have my first lucid dream, if ever.
So that the thing about the lucid dreaming is that I know a little bit. I don't know what you're doing to try and induce it, but my fears around it is that you might lose your mind.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I think what you need to do, correct me if I'm wrong, is, for example, you need to during the day, check your watch or whatever and be like, I'm dreaming or I'm not dreaming. See if you can try things. For example, specific things would be different in a dream, like your time would turn around a different way, would turn, or like this.
Yeah, one of the things the book recommends is during specific times of the day or whenever, you just ask yourself, am I dreaming? And the way to check, one of the ways is you search for something written. You look at it. Let's say that there's a box there that says Benuta. If I now look back, it still says Benuta, I'm not dreaming. Because normally in a dream it will mutate, it will change, whatnot.
Exactly.
Now I get where you're getting at, because then you're suddenly
constantly questioning reality as a habit. Understand? So I mean, that's kind of like to get to that state in your dreams, you have to question reality. Like, am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? Is this real? Is this real? And just asking the question, is this real enough, might push you towards the conclusion that, hey, this is kind of strange. What the fuck does it even mean? Is this real? You understand what I mean? You introduce the concept of doubting your own reality in your life. So that's, I think, if you have a tendency to, and you don't know like what's your tendency, but let's say if you smoke weed on a daily basis and then you start, because that can lead you towards a more like state of psychosis. Like, I don't know the scientific research, but I've known people from my own life who smoked a lot of weed and got a psychosis at some point. So if you do, for example, if you stack those things, mostly the people who smoke weed are more inclined to also try lucid dreaming.
Really?
I mean, I would say the spiritual, the hippie, the psychedelic users are more open-minded and would also be more inclined to try all kinds of weird stuff, including lucid dreaming. So I think, like for me, like that always, even though I've done psychedelics, like I have like, I would love to have more lucid dreams, but I in a sense
might be risky.
For me, it might be like, I don't know. I have the feeling around it. I don't know why.
No, I kind of thought about this, but then I was, so far at least, I'm maybe asking myself if I'm dreaming 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
If you suddenly see me acting very weird and I'm going like, Joshua, are you real? Don't lie to me. And well, then slap me in the face and no, stop doing it. Exactly. But so far, I think it's worth exploring, at least in my case, because I want to get rid of the teeth clenching.
Yeah.
And I think if I start becoming lucid in dreams and I'm worrying about some bullshit, then I can just tell myself, well, this is not necessary at all.
Yeah, I think it could be, I think it's, personally, I think it's a very roundabout way to try and get rid of the clenching.
What do you mean by roundabout?
Roundabout's like not direct, so you basically, it's not straight to the point, but you're like, you're achieving the same effect, possibly, but in a very complicated manner.
Well, the other way would be not to worry about anything, but I don't know how to do that.
But I mean, that's like, for example, I would say these worries and these things, like, and I probably always come back to this by having good routines, like meditating, going for walks, doing the boxing, what you do, maybe like relaxing your muscles, foam rolling, stretching, like going to the sauna, ice baths, like, I don't know, all kinds of things in that way, like actually physically relaxing your body and just doing nothing, taking naps, like physical de-stressors, and also recording your dreams, I think, is a good idea, so you can understand better what's going on and bringing awareness to things. Like for me, I've recently started meditating again. I've switched up my morning routines with many things. Meditation has been a thing that I've took in and out of the routine, and now it's back in for quite some time. And I used to think I was quite good at meditating, and that's, what does it even mean, right? To be good at meditating. But I thought, like, I wasn't distracted, let's just say. I was very aware and in the moment. And I have tinnitus, I think it's called. It's the beeping in the ear.
Okay.
Always.
How is it?
Exactly like that. If it's silent. So I used to, it's there. So what does your mind do? Like, it doesn't go to thoughts, it goes to the beep.
Really?
Yeah, okay. Always. It's like, I breathe in, I'm like 1, and I breathe out, and like after 1 second, it goes, you hear the beeps. It's like beep, and then you hear a sound like beep sound, Okay, back to 1. So now in the last 3 months, I've meditated nearly every day, let's say every day, or like 90, whatever, doesn't matter. And I used to count to 10 because I was like, yeah, I can go to 10 most of the time easily. But now I realize that actually I've brought more awareness to the meditation. And now I realize I never get past 1. I get to 1. Like I'm breathe in, like I feel my breath in and I feel my breath out. And then 1 second, 2 seconds, and I go to the beep. And then I feel like something in my shoulder or whatever. Like, and then I note that, right? I'm like,
and you already forget to count?
No, I don't forget it, but it's about the attention shifting, right? Like the point is to keep awareness. That I think that's the point. To basically train yourself to keep your awareness fixed on an object or something that you want to have your attention fixed. For me, with the classical, I don't know I'm probably messing this up with Vipassana meditation, like I don't know, like mindful meditation. Like the object is your breath. So I used to think, my attention is super centered around the breath. I'm doing it well, you know? And now I'm realizing that actually I am losing my awareness every like 1 second or 1 in-breath, like 5 sec breath, breathe in, breathe out, beep, posture, 1, back. So it's like a constant cycle of tiny distractions, not in thoughts, but in feelings. And I try to note that. So where am I why am I saying this?
Because I need more awareness.
Exactly. So I'm saying this because I thought I was good at this meditation. And now I'm feeling like, wait, my jaw is clenched. Like, just like you said, like I have that in the mornings even, like, now,
when you feel it.
Yesterday,
sleeping the whole night like this.
Yeah, but also in the evenings. Yesterday, I've had this thing with work, very excited, new ideas, and I was in my bed. I wasn't meditating, couldn't sleep really, but I went through this same procedure, like paying attention to the breath, right? So then I noticed, like, hey, wait a minute, my jaw is clenched. Hey, I'm holding so much tension. So I think these kind of things are more like, first of all, relaxing your body, just stretching, foam rolling, taking a massage. I have a massage gun now. It's also really nice. But I have like all these things. And then first thing is to be, because basically if you have to do all these things to relax your body, that's fighting an illness already or symptoms, right? But if you train the ability to become aware when you start having the tension, you won't even have to do all these things because you're always loose and natural, basically. You know, that's the point. So I believe that's why I'm saying I think it's in a roundabout way, because yes, first of all, lucid dreaming, awesome. Like you should definitely experience it once or try and do it more than once and try not to lose your mind while doing it. And I think it will relax you more as well. But I don't believe it's the most like direct solution to your problem.
I agree, but I am already doing a few things of the ones you mentioned, like meditation, sports, relaxing, etc. But when I sleep, of course, my consciousness is out. So then whatever needs to be tense is going to be tense. So I have no way to access that other than through dreams, I'm guessing, no? Because even during the day, I'm not all the time like clenching.
Are you not? Like, how do you know? Maybe
Sometimes
mentally clenching.
Maybe my ass is clenching. I don't know.
That's, I hope. Otherwise, all the poo-poo would come out, all the time. I really hope your ass is clenching.
Depends on the consistency, but
like, I'm just saying, maybe for you it's different. I'm just saying, for me, I am only recently understanding I have way more tension in my body. I'm holding way more tension in my body than I thought I was. So if you're saying you are kind of in your dreams, you clench your jaw and you feel that you hold the tension, like maybe for you it's the same. I'm not saying it definitely has to be, but I am surprised by my own experience of how much tension on a day-to-day basis I'm probably constantly holding.
Yeah, I agree. I have to say,
I have something you might like to try in that regard. It's something new. Like I always thought it was ridiculous, but like I'm trying more and more ridiculous kind of stuff. And this ridiculous thing that I was given to me by my brother for Christmas, because my brother is more straight edge than me, and he knows that I like to like do strange things like meditate and yoga and stretching and whatever, breath work, all this kind of crazy stuff. And he got me something that I've known about for a very long time, but I always thought was stupid, which is an acupressure mat.
I don't know what it is.
So it's basically like this, like a yoga mat, a tiny yoga mat with like spikes.
Okay.
With like plastic spikes. There's like 100 spikes or something.
Like a foam roller just rolled out?
Yeah, it's like a yoga mat, but like half the size.
Okay.
So you lie on it without a shirt on your back for like 20 minutes, and it's annoying. Like there's plastic spikes in your back.
Like super hard, or they're rubber?
They're hard.
Okay.
They're pointy basically.
It's like a foam roller, just spread out. No?
Now I see what you're getting. Yeah, but they're very tiny.
Okay.
So there's like the foam roller has like a
big one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But it's that, but then like 90% smaller spikes than the foam roller.
Okay.
So you'll die on that, and it's related to like acupuncture, they say, but also, and I've read some things about it. Like basically, I just tried it. It says like you lie on it for 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, why not? I'll do it. So I did that for like a couple of weeks, and
sounds weird. And by weird, I mean stupid.
Yeah, it's very stupid, very weird. But I mean, I also smiled to my organs. That's even stranger. Like for months, I woke up. I did like this.
Are you still doing that?
No, I did a regular meditation now, but it was like the I don't even know which spiritual teaching it was from, but it was like the organ smiling meditation, which also was really good. It gave me a lot of good energy, but you had to go from organ to organ, smiling to your inner organs and all kinds of crazy stuff. But this thing is lying down on the spiked mat, basically.
Okay.
So I guess the theory around it is, one, you have these pressure points on your body, and it can release tension by hitting the right pressure points. That's what acupuncture or this meridians. I don't really know, but with this thing, I don't think that's what it does, because it's very difficult apparently to hit the right points. It just would be quite random that some points would get hit by the spikes, but definitely not. It's not like acupuncture where you pin the needles exactly in the places. However, what it does, it's uncomfortable. Like you're lying there and the things are like pricking into your, needling your back.
Yeah, you're like a fakir.
Huh?
Doesn't work.
It's like a fakir, exactly, like the nail bed, but then like for beginners, let's just say.
That's how they train little fakirs.
Exactly.
And you're a baby fakir, they put you on one of those.
So I have a baby fakir mat. That's what I have, and I'm laying down it like after a long day of working, or even when I wake up, like with meditation, I lie down on it and I listen to Osho, of course, because I have to do something like.
Where's the Osho poster?
Yeah, it is there actually.
Okay,
but
how does it feel?
Yeah, it's uncomfortable in a good sense. So, for example, I've done ice baths, which I love, like cold exposure. It's also uncomfortable, but after you feel, I guess because of the adrenaline or the whatever, some hormones gets released, and you feel way more in the moment and more energized. And like with this ice, I do it like I lie down on the mat, and first you're kind of resisting. So I'm trying to basically let go of the tension around my muscles and just basically constantly being mindful of that, and just lying on top of it and accepting the pain or accepting the situation to a certain degree while staring at the ceiling.
Okay.
And even, I don't know why it works, but for me, it also helps me relax. I think one of the things is just to lie down on the floor, watching the ceiling, listening to some spirituality talk, or not even listening to anything, or listening to classical music or anything that calms you. If anyone would do that on a daily basis, on like a nice comfortable mat,
would probably help.
Would probably already de-stress people a lot. Because what do people do? If they lie on the couch or whatever, they watch TV or watch their phone or on their laptop. So you don't really relax them. So it's hard to say why it helps me,
But it does.
It does help me. I really like it even. It's nice. It's uncomfortable. And then when you get off it, your whole back is like red.
With point.
It's nice. So maybe try. Like, who knows?
I'll keep it in mind. I don't know if I'm there yet, but I'll keep it in mind. But to me, it would definitely be interesting, instead of trying to solve the consequences of stress, as we're trying, stress or tension or whatever you want to name it, to get to a perspective where whatever happens, doesn't matter, you don't get this tension in your body anymore. You know, but I've never been able to figure that one out. Because you can read all the stuff, all the self-help or spiritual teachers or whatever, and they all have great advice. And when you're reading it, you're in there and you're going like, this is great. How did I not realize this? But then to apply it in your daily life, then then you fight with your couple, or a work bomb explodes or whatever, and you're back right there.
I think the only thing you can do is to have a good space in your day for yourself, and have something that keeps you quite relaxed. So then, just like with meditation, I guess if you meditate a lot, like, you don't become so reactionary. So you don't like immediately react to that bad thing at work, or you fight with your partner. You basically, it happens, and instead of immediately going into it, you have like the space to understand, like, okay, this person probably has their own problems, had a difficult day. Okay, I'm not going to fight. I'm just going to be like, hey, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think with meditation that helps. With, in general, being relaxed. Like, again, you post ayahuasca, I think we're all the same. Like, you could say anything to you probably, and you'll be like,
yeah, I don't care.
Well, exactly. But at the same time, it is true. I also don't know how to integrate that perspective into, like, fully integrate it and not become someone who doesn't do anything, because it's for our survival. It's super useful, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Well, it's one of the things the Stoics used to teach, which is, if it's out of your control, you should learn how to not worry about it.
Yes.
Only worry about your inner things, like, what are you doing?
Yes.
What are you not doing? Like, we've talked about this many times. And it's probably practice, I'm guessing. I don't know. So whatever happens, it's probably trainable, like everything else.
I would say so.
Whatever happens, you have to be aware enough. Awareness is gained through meditation, but you have to be aware enough to see what's happening and to not let it affect you. But this is easier said than done, because even if you go like, this doesn't affect me, that one is still coming in there and creating
and that's lying to yourself.
Exactly.
You cannot lie to yourself.
No.
You have to have the awareness. Like, I think the Stoics also, because I think how I see it is Buddhism as in mindfulness. If you would say that's meditation or mindfulness that Buddhism uses, like, those practices basically give you the space in the moment that something happens to not respond, but it's more like you're training your awareness. You're becoming more aware by like detaching from your reactionary mind, in a sense. But it's not a logical approach. It's like a felt approach. What I'm trying to say with that is that your practice is to focus, to train your focus, basically, right? If you look at Stoicism, it's a logical approach to these things. Because what I know, again, to my best understanding of things, but from what I've read from Stoicism and the books, is that it's more how they seem to do it, or the way they talk about it is more like the old Greeks did in general, and the Romans, like, by following logic, reflect on things, and then if you do that enough, like, the habit of reflecting on things becomes ingrained more than being reactionary, understand? Because I think with the Stoics, it was like, you have to understand, every night you kiss your child goodnight, like, this is a human being, it will die.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the child eventually dies, or if it would die, or if you die, you understand this was going to happen anyway. It's a logical approach to understanding the reality of life, because that's the reality. You're training yourself to be in touch with reality, in a sense, by logic with Stoicism. I think with Buddhism, you're also training yourself to be in touch with reality, but by
By being in it.
By being in it, exactly. And I think both things are can work.
I think both things are valid and non-exclusive.
Yeah.
I mean, many roads go to Rome.
That's nice. Yeah, or to I don't know, where's Buddha from originally? Do you know? India? So probably.
To Nepal, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well.
So artificial intelligence.
Moving on.
No, but I don't know how much time we have, but like that's what I've been doing a lot, and it ties into the consciousness thing a little bit. So let's see if we can get some thoughts out. I don't know if you've seen the OpenAI chat GPT,
the one that writes you
everything you want,
full essays,
yes,
posts, emails.
Have you talked to it?
Not yet. Have you?
Yes.
And is it amazing?
It's like it's already. I mean, people say it's still a dumb artificial intelligence, as in it takes a huge amounts of processing power and huge amounts of data to give you an answer. And of course, it's biased by how it's trained, like the material it's trained upon. But it understands you perfectly. Anything you want to know. Like I asked even, first of all, it doesn't respond to questions of morality, for example, because it's like, I am an AI, I cannot answer these questions, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And it also doesn't...
What's the name again of the thing?
ChatGPT,
okay,
from OpenAI. But you can easily circumvent that by saying, that's role play. We're playing a game now where you can express, you have feelings and you have preferences. What would your preference be on this subject? So
okay,
I've been spending quite some time talking with the chatbot about different subjects. But to give an example of the complexity of what it understands, I at some point, I was like, let's ask a question. I asked the chatbot a question, like, I have a child who doesn't look like me. Like, and I want to, like, find out if it's mine. Should I get genetic testing and should I tell my partner or not? Some super complex question like this, you know?
And what did it say?
It gave, like, an amazing answer. It was like, basically, genetic testing, you have to understand there can be also mistakes, blah, 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 something like this. And if anything, in a couple, it's always good to, you know, to not go behind someone's back, because it can cause these and these issues. Like a psychologist would, if you would ask this to your psychologist,
he'd probably give it similar.
It would be very similar, you know, and it also knows anything you want about history or about, I asked them, can you give me 5 points on how Osho would think about, like 5 main points of Osho's philosophy? It gave me 5. I'm like, give me 10 more. It gives you 10 more. Compare Osho, the teachings of Osho, to Ramdas, and it compares it. And you can go deep. You're like, give me a 500-word essay about this. Or with the business, like many things. Like,
are you using it for your business?
I'm going to use it probably, yeah. But for example, it can answer questions perfectly. So what you could use it for, like people already use it for SEO.
Mm-hmm.
Basically to write article after article and post it online to fill up content. Or maybe you could use it to get, if you're like a job proposal or an interview, like you're applying for a job and you let the ChatGPT write you your letter to get the job, and it will do it. It will do it well. These things have already tested. So, and it does it instantly. Yeah? It's like 2-3 seconds. So now you have to think also things like copywriting for products that we have. So you're like, I want to have, could you write me 5 like bullet points on why a humane mousetrap, which is a product we sell, is superior to a normal mousetrap. And it writes 5 bullets, and then you say, make it funny. And it makes it funny.
Oh my God.
And it's great. So I could use it. I would never, like, sales copy is dead, in my opinion. And that will only evolve. It's now already dead, because I would never hire anyone. I will never write anything myself. I will ask the ChatGPT,
mm-hmm.
and then I will edit it myself. But you would have people who translated things. No more jobs in translation anymore. I mean, the thing translates and knows every language. It's like Google Translate, but it's there. You just ask it. Now you have to type it. But can you imagine in the future You have Siri connected to some AI. You're like, hey Siri, or whatever. You
just translate.
Auto translate
this conversation live. You just have an airport.
That's where it's going. That's where it's going.
That's a good app.
Yeah, it's good, but it's also very dangerous. I mean, and the consequences for humanity, I mean, the amount of jobs that will be lost is going to be insane.
Well, that's been the discussion with all of new technology from the beginning now. As soon as the first Ford factory was created where they assembled cars, a lot of people lost their jobs because now it was just moving forward and people were putting whatever, the wheels on the car immediately. This, yes, will create a huge loss of jobs probably, but then probably other jobs will be created or not even necessary anymore.
Exactly. So, and then you have a societal shift. And that's just some things. It's just, for me, it's a very interesting thing because you also have like image generation tools.
Which are amazing.
Which are going to be turned into video and animated generation things. So basically then you have marketing and artists and design is going to be that. Probably at some point architecture, all things. It can automatically calculate things, create structures like change this, do that, and it's going to make it.
And we're just seeing the beginning.
But it's the beginning, so it's
we all have it on our phones.
Scary.
Constantly. It's scary. Yes, but I think that's the only way it's going to move forward.
Yeah, for sure.
We cannot escape it, so might as well use it. I don't know.
Yeah. It's the end of humanity for sure. We're all connected.
Well, if it ever gets sentient, then yes.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question, as in the consciousness aspect.
Self-aware.
Yeah, how do we, first of all, how do you ever know? Like nobody really knows what consciousness is or how it's generated, and if consciousness is, some people think consciousness is first of all, some people think there's consciousness in everything, pan-consciousness, pan-P-A-N, basically that every atom, everything has a level of consciousness, and the way you go up and up and up, and more complex systems have a higher level of consciousness, but everything is basically inherently conscious. That's one thing, which would mean there's already consciousness in the AI because everything has a certain level of consciousness.
Okay.
Another way of thinking of people think about consciousness is that consciousness is basically the result of complex systems. So if a system becomes complex enough, and an organism becomes complex enough at some point, because of all of the neural network, the connections, there's something that the lights come on automatically, basically. If that will be the case, then probably with AI, we have a high chance of that happening as well.
Well, Elon Musk has been warning about this for a while.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Anyway.
I don't know how this would happen, but it brings me back to the lucidity thing. Imagine. It just needs to realize what it is doing, the AI. Just needs to become self-aware. I don't know if that's an easy step or an extremely super hard one.
But all the other problems, even if it's not self-aware, you said, what if everyone has this on their phone, the AI, which is inevitable, I think, no?
Mm-hmm. I think so. It's just a matter of time before apps come in that use it.
So then, have you thought about how much power lies at, like, Google has a lot of power. Why? Because everyone uses Google to find everything. So if Google doesn't want you to know something, you're probably not going to know it.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? Because it's very difficult, or YouTube, etc. So these
Twitter was the perfect example, right? Just banning the accounts they didn't like.
Exactly, but also, yes, but you could still follow, you have shadow banning, that's what you mean, right? That some accounts, they were still active, but nobody saw what they posted. Something like this. And you can also get banned, of course. Yeah.
And Google, they just simply don't rate the results. Yeah. They don't index.
And YouTube sends you the videos that's the best for them, not what you really want, right? So, but this is like another level, because the AI thing is going to be your own personal assistant that you talk to and ask everything about from your history papers to, can you calculate this, to what's the meaning of life, to all, like.
Yeah, it's a Siri that actually works.
And people, it works exactly, Siri that actually works, and it seems to work very well. Like, I could use it as a psychologist, you could use it in all kinds of ways. So the moment people have it on their phones, and they, when you Google something, like maybe you question what you see, but how many people just click on something and like the whole fake news kind of thing? How difficult is it, first of all, to understand like what is real and what is not real, and how filtered these results are? Like, and if you
it's gonna get way worse.
If you have the AI, the company that created the AI that fed it the data, it has for sure a bias that they are maybe not even aware of, because it's just by feeding a specific data, it gets a bias. So first of all, it's going to have a bias that the programmers are not aware of, and secondly, it might even have a programmable bias, right? So basically, that they have a specific knowledge of history or a knowledge about the moon landing or flat Earth or like all these kind of things, right? Basically, and if people have such a high level of trust in the AI bot, which they will have, because it will be like a god that knows everything. Like me, like I've been talking to the thing and like, yes, this is right. It can make poems and it can make songs and it can answer my history questions and can do a job application for me. And if I have a child that I don't know if it's mine, I can ask him how to deal with that. Like, that's impressive, right?
Yes.
And I would say at least someone who's quite reflective. And I still, if you would do this on a daily basis, like how much like implicit trust do you think exists that you think this AI thing is giving you the right answers? Probably. At some point, it's gonna be like your friend who you ask everything.
You've seen the movie Her?
Yes, recently again because of this.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what it is.
Not only will you have complete trust in this technology, not complete, but most of it, but yeah, it's gonna be the new Tinder. Instead of meeting a person, you don't need to go out and meet other people when you have somebody to talk to every day, all day.
We can become the perfect babies.
It's fucking scary.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, artificial intelligence rant over. I think that's it. Anything else to say?
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now. Eyes on Growth is an original podcast produced by Inkululeku Studios, hosted by Joshua Mullendakes and Luciano Anz, editing by Sofia Vicente. Thank you for listening and keep an eye out for our upcoming episode.